As the world turns and the days go by, I'm living life, I don't wanna die. Clock's ticking and the time waits for no one. There's no exception, it's an unlimited motion. Can you feel the force? Public enemy, I'm a rebel without a pause. When the timing is right, let's have the time of our life. When y'all catching feelings, I'm catching fights. Can you feel the force? Without a pause. When the timing is right, let's have the time of our life.
Hey, it's Sunday, and do you know where your beard trimmer is? Because I don't.
I don't either.
Welcome! Welcome to FTW Future Focus, ladies and gentlemen. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, and with me in the dynamic duo today is the founder of our feast, the president of FTW Network, my pal and friend, hell of a professional wrestler, hell of a promoter, the mastermind, Bobby Rogers. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Got a lot of stuff going on. As I was telling you off the air, Robert, got a new show that's going to be coming up here. We're going to be doing a live taping next Saturday, and it'll be replaying. It is a political show. It's called The Right Direction. Basically, we're going to be discussing the major issues of today when it comes to the political landscape and giving our real world opinion on it. Not no twisted where it's a newscast and they get paid by this and this and this and this. Totally independent. Totally right off the knocker. My wrestling sister, Ash Irvin, will be one of my co-hosts. And then we're supposed to have another co-host. Now, I'm just going to give you a little side view on this. This man has been on here just saying a lot of crazy stuff. I will admit he is conservative. All right. And I'm not saying he's saying some crazy stuff, but he's conservative. He just said some crazy stuff. And I really want his opinion out there so people can look at it and see, is this man on the money or is he nuts? Or is he a little bit of both? So we will
Well, that
see.
depends on whether you...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, that depends on whether you consider one side or the other completely irrational. And what is this guy's name, Bobby? Just for the record.
I'm going to keep it off the air until he totally gets in. You know what I'm saying? But
okay, I understand.
But I think this is going to be interesting. We invite all of you guys to come in, share your opinions. We have a message board on the side. You type in your comments, type in your questions. We will gladly go ahead and publicize that. But I think this is going to be a little twist, a little challenge, not only for me, but I think it's going to be a challenge for a lot of people to sit down and listen and see what the other side thinks. The thing is this. Everybody has a voice. Everybody's voice should be heard. The only thing is finding the truth in that voice. I think that we're going to provide to where we can hear the truth in that voice, especially when it comes to Indiana issues. When it comes to Indiana and national issues, we're going to be really probably making some people mad. So,
well, we're no strangers to that here at
that's
FTW
what I'm saying.
Network.
We got a lot of practice.
So, well, yeah, that's true. I know that I've pissed a lot of people off on Motown Wrestling Group and elsewhere, but that's just the professional wrestling fandom and political following can be as volatile as anything else in this world. So it's going to be interesting to see where the right direction directs us. So I'm looking forward to it. And Bobby, you are a political science major, so I'm very interested in seeing where all this goes.
Yeah, shocks everybody. They heard that. They were like, "Huh, Bob? What? Bobby's what? Huh? That crazy
Well,
dude?
yeah,
Huh? Wait, this dude went to college? Yeah, I went to college. Yeah, I went to college. I did a few things. So
mm,
we'll see how it goes,
well,
man.
hey, it'll be interesting, even if it's a car wreck, which I'm sure it won't be. You've managed some great programming here, so I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
But I'm thinking
Speaking of,
if it's a Volkswagen Beetle and you got a Big Mac truck coming, that could be interesting.
well, that depends on which side of the spectrum you're on. I
Good
mean,
point.
yeah. Speaking of sides and spectrums, our first subject today on Future Focus is one that I am extremely interested in, and it kind of resembles that remark. The Mack truck being MJF and the Volkswagen being Brody King in this instance.
Who would ever thought
Uh,
Brody King would be compared to a Volkswagen Beetle?
well, not me. Not me,
Oh,
but the
no.
application is apropos because that seems to be the direction it went. Because our first order of business is was the booking of MJF versus Brody King at Grand Slam Australia and the setup to it correct or a waste of time? And I am of the opinion that it was actually more leaning toward waste of time than correct.
Mm,
And I'm not saying that because uh I had no interest in the match or didn't think that it was any good. I thought that both the match and the setup were interesting and fresh as far as AEW goes, and there are points I'll make about that later on.
mm.
However, the fact that MJF went over so easily in the end did kind of bait and switch things a little bit, especially considering the pushing of Brodito over the last year. The fact that they made a big deal out of that tag team and that Brody King has been teased as a major single star for a long time. And it just seems like they put a whole lot of effort into something that should have been a bigger deal and ended up not being. MJF going over completely clean in the end. Not the way that I would have handled that. Um, However, there's more here about storylines and booking than meets the eye that I'll get to a little bit later. But I was disappointed in the fact that Brody King didn't get the true showcase that he deserved, especially considering that he's a super heavyweight in AEW, and that for whatever reason, AEW can't crack the formula of what to do with their super heavyweights the same way that WWE can't crack the code of what to do with their cruiserweights. So, um, overall, it was disappointing, even though it was a good effort. Bobby, did you think they wasted our time, or did you enjoy this?
Going up to Australia, even though I'm an MJF fan. I did not like the way it ended. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But afterwards, I think that was Dynamite. He just choked him out in the ring, outside the ring. That was interesting.
I think so. Hmm.
I was kind of like, wait a minute, he lost like that, but he came back and he choked him out. What's going on here? Brody King has a lot of momentum behind him. The statements that he did make against Ice, which I totally 100% agree with. Get mad at me. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. I agree with what he says. Um, but the traction he's gotten with that. The thing that I got to say about it is he wasn't intending for that. And that's what makes it a little bit more special. He just said what was on his mind. And you know what? AEW fans, and this is why I'm so attracted by AEW to a point. It's like a brotherhood. If one of the brothers feels something, the community is going to be behind them. For the most part, that is. And they rallied behind him during that Dynamite episode when they started chanting F Ice. That was solely to support King. I'm kind of shocked because I got to say Donald Trump made a superstar in AEW.
Well, I am not so much worried about Brody King's political stances. And that part is not what concerns me. What concerns me is the fact that AEW needs to decide what direction they're going to go with both Brody King and MJF, because they can't seem to decide whether they're going to lean in to MJF as a heel and Brody King as a complete babyface, or whether they're going to switch them. And granted, shades of gray are interesting, and I'm sure there are plenty of people that support ICE that watch AEW, but that's what concerns me is that they need to make a definitive decision and stick with it creatively, and it seems like they're not completely committing to that.
So, would you say that it's I'm trying to say this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say he has like the what's his name? I can't believe I can't remember his name now. Oh, does he have the big show syndrome? To where he did that switch them, heel face, on off, on off. Would you say he has that?
Not quite. Not to that degree yet. I mean, right now he is more babyface than tweener, but that could be just the spur of the moment that they're working with, because obviously he struck a nerve with his comments.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me that they're leaning more babyface than not. But at the end of the day, all of this comes down to MJF, because they can't seem to decide this time whether they want to make him a babyface champion or whether they want to make it the Reign of Terror. And they need to decide that because they just made Hangman Page the number one contender again, and he is full on babyface. So they have to either make MJF a respectable champion, or they need to make him the total scumbag that his reputation and uh, and personality deserves. So that's where the confusion comes in. I mean, as far as Brody King himself, it is inevitable to me that they're going to turn him heel and that he's going to go after Bandito and they're going to make him Ring of Honor World Champion. That seems to be the inevitable direction that they would logically go. And they've been teasing it for a while. But on the other hand, they somewhere, somehow, someone needs to make a definitive decision. And Tony Khan doesn't like doing that.
I see. I look at it as right now he's in the middle to where I think at first they was going to do that, but then they seen his reaction, so they're like, "Wait a minute, hold on, what are we going to do here?"
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of like in the middle, like they're trying to figure out what to do. If it was me, he have a rocket strapped to his back right now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because he has the momentum of the crowd behind him. But see, this is the other problem I have. You're doing it against MJF.
Yeah.
And that's where the little twist goes because MJF is he's one of the best wrestlers that he's probably definitely top three wrestlers that they have. I mean, are you really going to go ahead and downgrade your top talent to elevate somebody else? And that's where the catch 22 comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need a third element to that. I think they need somebody that's a kind of a heel himself, so he could go in there and cheat and piss everybody off. Just blow the whole room up, you know.
Yeah.
That way, he could cheat MJF. He could lose the title to King. King could carry it for a while. The guy has a story with MJF. MJF would lose that story. He would. Barely because he got cheated out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then the guy would go on to Brody King to try to get the world title. MJF would interfere to stop that type of thing from happening, from him cheating to get the title. And then you got Brody King and MJF again. You
Well, Bobby, there's only 3 people in AEW that I could okay, 4. There's 4 potential people in AEW that could act in that capacity. Samoa Joe,
yeah,
Okada,
yeah.
uh, Strickland, and Moxley.
Oh no, hell no. Hell no.
Well, I know
Hell to the
that you
motherfucker
wouldn't.
no. Hell no.
I know.
No.
Well, yeah, Moxley is a little overexposed for that sort of thing, and I know you would object to that, um, but Joe could easily fit that description.
I'm sorry. I don't even think Joe.
Well, Fletcher is always there.
Yes. There you go. Because I think look at the dynamic. When you got Kyle Fletcher and you got Brody King and then you got MJF.
Oh yeah.
All 3 AEW originals.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of these guys, you got the spectrum of youth right there. The older guy, the middle of the road guy, and the young guy. You have all the dynamics there. The aerial dynamic guy of Kyle Fletcher. You have the ground and pound with Brody King. And you got the mixture with cheating with MJF. That is a recipe right there. That would grab my attention. That made me say, man, Wednesdays I gotta tune in.
Well, the question is Kyle Fletcher more hateable than MJF? And that's a subject of debate right there.
He is. He is. I mean, I don't think there's
Really?
a question in that.
Oh, you think Kyle Fletcher is more hateable than MJF?
Yes, because if they ever come to the bad guy that they hate so much, do they like him?
Yeah, but he can be that scumbag that you can't stand no matter how charming he is.
No, people stand him because they chant, "You're my scumbag."
Depending on what he does. I
True.
mean, I mean, there's an element here that kind of puts the extra layer on for Fletcher, and that's Don Callis.
I don't.
Don Callis is just
Oh God.
absolutely unredeemable as a character.
Don Callis
So,
shouldn't have a damn job.
oh man, he's one of the most hateable characters in AEW. Period.
I I wish I
Now
had
you can
money.
argue that's for all the wrong reasons, but you got to admit that the crowd hates his guts.
I would love to be a manager going against him because I would eat him alive. And I'm saying that respectfully. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't think Kyle Fletcher is anybody because I his actions that he takes are predictable. His mic skills are mediocre at best. His
Whoa.
antics are sublime, like I want to say middle school level. He does not. He does not. How can I say pierce my intelligence level whatsoever with him? He's a goofball. When you look at somebody like Paul Heyman, he fucks with you intellectually. His
Hmm.
facial expressions fuck with you intellectually. His presence fucks with you intellectually. Callis does nothing like that for me. It makes me want to take a crap. That's what it makes me want to do.
Jeez.
But
Wow.
but we could go on to other managers. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now he was a goofball. Don't get me wrong, but he was that goofball that made it serious at times too. Because yeah, he'll goof off and he'll do something crazy and blah blah blah. But once you start talking about Hulk Hogan, that face changed.
Hmm.
He was in that one. And I understand it was partially true, but still, you know what I'm saying? You had to where you got him. Bobby the Brain Heenan, one of the most intelligent, not to play on the name, but one of the most intelligent guys there was when it comes to managing. Another example that just blows Kyle, I mean, not Kyle Fletcher, but a dude out the water.
Don
Jim
Callis.
Cornette. I ain't got to say
Oh,
nothing.
well, no, I'm not comparing like Don Callis to any of those guys personality wise because it's no contest. No, that's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing the fact that with the AEW audience, Don Callis is so over as a heel and as a hateable character that it makes someone as dislikable as MJF infinitely more cuddly, is what I'm saying. It's not a comparison of their personalities versus his, it's a comparison of how over he is in terms of heat, is what
Okay,
I'm talking about.
okay, we got Tony's comment on the screen right there, and I'm gonna address that. Isn't it sad that he is a top manager in the AEW with the way he acts? I'm sorry, I just don't. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just don't get Nick Callis. I think he's a
Well,
waste of
to be
time. I would rather watch Luis Estrada. Remember him?
yeah.
I would rather watch him than Don Callis.
But no, I would. Oh, well, okay. To be fair, our generation grew up with a different caliber of managers. And managers have practically gone out of style in the last 25 years. And even a mediocre personality in a managerial role is going to be dynamic compared to most of what we've gotten in the last 2 decades. So, comparing Don Callis to, say, Jimmy Hart is like comparing Bobby Heenan to Eddie Creechman, if you know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking about a different like caliber of manager here. So I mean, Don Callis is the best you're going to get in the 21st century, practically. Unless it's Paul Heyman, who is in a completely different category unto himself.
Yes, he is the category.
But yeah. But speaking of categories unto themselves, that kind of leads us into our next segment. Uh, I believe it was at Grand Slam Australia, the Inspiration, aka the Iconics, made their AEW debut in their home country.
Mm-hmm.
And the question on the board is, are they going to make a difference in AEW or are they not? Bobby, do you think there going to be any significance to the roster?
They're going to improve the roster. I'm going to say that.
Okay.
Significance is a different story. I think that they'll be something that is going to be better than what they have, especially in the tag team division. But unless they've been training, which I pray to God that they have, I pray to God that they have, it's going to be a flop. The Iconics,
Ah.
to me, has the as not as quite as much, but it's like the Bella Twin syndrome.
Ugh.
Guys fantasize about them two being together because they kiss each other and hold each other's hand walking down the aisle, skipping, and most of these old guys are sitting up like, oh my god, yes, we want to see the Iconics, oh my god. Look at my face. Do I really care? No. What are they doing in that ring? That's what I want to see. I can care less about them skipping the loo, running through the flowers, half dressed, holding hands, kissing each other. I don't care. I don't. Maybe I'm old. I don't know. I just don't care. My thing is, what can they do in that ring? Can they execute a good match? Can they tell a story? Let's see what they have learned since they have disappeared to make a progression. Now, if they've done nothing, it will show up quickly, and they will still have the same opinion from my mouth as they did then. If they improve, I'll be the first one to clap. Because AEW needs it. And I love seeing women's wrestling.
Well, you and I are on the same page here. Um, I was never a fan of the Iconics as a gimmick in WWE. So I am not really the right person to say yes or no on this because to me, as long as they don't reboot the gimmick in AEW, it has the potential of working. If the Inspiration brings something different to the table rather than rehashing the shit that they did as the Iconics 2.0, then there's a shot at this bringing something fresh to AEW. But if it's a rehash of the shit that they did in WWE, then I'd rather they just had a one-time thing that had to do with Australia and showing up there and then quietly melding into the damn background or something rather than being an integral part of anything elaborate. Now, granted, their in-ring work was never terrible. It's just that the stuff that they were compelled to do in WWE was a whole lot more gimmicky than it had any right to be.
How wasn't
If
it
they get
terrible?
away from that, what's that?
How wasn't it terrible?
Well, they weren't. They were half a step above the Bella Twins.
Okay,
I'll
but
put
that's
it. Yeah,
atrocious.
I'll put it that way. Yeah, they had more skill than Brie and Nikki.
Okay,
We'll
I
give
give
them
you that.
that much credit. Okay, it's just a question of whether they've improved in the ring and whether they can keep up with the pace that AEW demands.
That's
If
true
they
too.
can't, yeah, if they can't, then this is a really bad idea and a waste of our time. If they are able to turn it up a notch and actually keep up with the style, then there could be some potential magic here. But I'm not sure whether I'm not sure who they would who that would require them to be paired up with. I mean, maybe the Babes of Wrath, but that's putting them right into the tag title picture, which
Mhm.
seems really rushed at this point. I don't think that should happen. But there is the potential for this to be interesting and for it to seriously crash and burn. And the jury is still out for me on this one. But suffice it to say, they can't be the Iconics again. If they are, if they just continue the gimmick, this is going to suck.
Yeah, yeah. But guess what though? If they have improved their skills and they can tell a story, a good story, it could be iconic.
Oh boy.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Iconic. Well, yeah, see, this is why I am not a good person to be asking this particular question for,
Mm,
because when it comes to over the top gimmicks that take over precedent over the in-ring action, I automatically will lean toward the negative. Even for somebody who has great skills inside the ring, because when the gimmick takes precedent, it matters less to me, and it completely spoils the broth of the soup. It
mm,
just completely screws it up. Like, Chad Gable is a fantastic athlete, and he deserves a hell of a lot more than being saddled with one of the shittiest and most ridiculous and racist gimmicks that has ever existed in WWE history. El Gringo Idiota is an insult to both Mexican heritage and to Lucha Libre, and the fact that Gable has to wear that dumbass mask and participate in that gimmick to get over is sickening. And I look at the Iconics the exact same way. Maybe that's unfair, but by God, it is it's a testament to how modern wrestling can go 100% wrong when a gimmick that shitty not only gets over but overrides everything that happens inside the ring. Now, I granted there are a lot of people who will disagree with that. Maybe you're included in that mastermind, but the bottom line is that when it comes to overwrought gimmicks, especially comedy, I am just completely off the table when it comes to that.
Let me say this. The thing that got me interested in those gimmicks, the Americano, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
was
El
when I found out
Grande
it was four of them.
Americano.
I didn't know it was four of them. I thought it was only two. And then now they got four, three on one side, one on the other. It makes me interested because it's like, okay, it was goofy at first, but now you got three against one. What are they actually going for? What is the deal? What has Chad Gable done so wrong? Do they want to jump him 3-on-1? All questions that need to be answered. So it intrigues me. I don't see the Grande Americano as a racist gimmick. I see the Godfather as a racist gimmick. I
I
see a
would
couple other
agree.
things. I see a couple other things they've done with Japanese women superstars has been a racist gimmick. But I don't see
Yeah.
this one as. I see this one as they first started this probably just to throw somebody different in the ring that had that style so they could try to get people over and didn't realize that they were getting him over by doing it. And now, since they got so much attraction, because think about how many masks he's got to sell, how many capes he's got to sell. This dude is it's got to be pushing merchandise right along with, you know what I'm saying, what he's doing in that
Mm-hmm.
ring. So they caught on to something like, wait a minute, we need to keep it. So that's what we're going to do. So to always counter a person that's good, the biggest villain is a person that's his twin. And they made the second one.
Okay.
But I don't understand where the third and fourth one came from. That's why I'm lost. But I think the group of Americanos jumping to one Americano is interesting within itself because it shows the infighting. And I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to tell you the truth. He's going to win that AAA title. And I think it's going to be good for AAA.
I don't. In fact, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Well, I'm
I
sorry. I didn't
I
mean to
don't
do it. I'll get you a bottle of Listerine from
well
Amazon.
no, it's not your fault. And the saddest part of the whole thing is that you're probably right about him winning the belt. Because that seems to be the whole point of the reason that I call the gimmick racist is because it is a prime example, probably one of the best examples in the world right now of cultural appropriation. They're not, they're making fun of Lucha Libre by introducing those characters. They don't give a damn about the culture it represents. They just want to exploit it in order to A, sell merch, and B, make fun of Lucha Libre and basically exploit AAA because they own it and they don't give a shit about its heritage.
Well, let me ask you
I
this question. If you're saying that about Lucha Libre, would that mean they've been doing the same thing to black people for the last 40 years?
In a lot of ways, in a lot of instances, yes.
Okay.
When you're talking about, when you're talking about gimmicks, when you're talking about straight up stereotypical stuff that that black wrestlers in particular are forced to do as far as gimmicks go, then yes. If we're going to take,
I'm liking that.
I yeah, when you're taking ideas like cultural appropriation in a serious way, then yes, yeah. Where I mean, how often have we seen black professional wrestlers forced into stereotypical gimmicks, whether they got over or not? Whether they were completely stereotypical or not, that you knew that those were not their true personalities. I mean, my God, look at R-Truth.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, there's a R-Truth is the El Grande Americano of African American professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
That is a terrible. Yeah, and that's why I hate these things so much, because not only is it an insult to cultures, but it's a cheap way to gin up controversy.
True.
Like Eugene, like
Oh yeah.
Santino Marella.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact that those things even get over accidentally is what drives me insane. And I know that there are plenty of our viewers who think that I am like oversensitive about this subject, and maybe I am. Maybe I'm an old fart who's no fun, but god damn it, people. There's a point to be made about professional wrestling being a serious art form instead of a goddamn joke. And it drives me, since I was a kid, it has driven me insane that you can turn off people who would otherwise think professional wrestling was amazing by dragging out a fucking idiot like Santino Marella or El Gringo Idiota Bastada in order to further some dumbass the idea of selling masks or stupid ass gloves that look like snakes. No.
I can't knock you when you're wrong, bro. You're right. You're
Well,
right.
unfortunately, it makes money, and because it makes money, people accept it. And I just can't. Maybe that means I'm allergic to money, or I'm not a good capitalist, but I want professional wrestling to make money on its merits, not
Hold
on
on,
its
hold on, hold on.
gimmicks.
Let me say this. That does not make you a, a bad capitalist. That makes you a responsible capitalist because you
Oh,
won't
well,
accept
thank you.
money from every direction it comes from. I am the same way. It's a saying when you play. Have you ever heard of the card game Spades? If you and I know people out there have played Spades before. There's a saying when you play Spades: all money is not good money. That means you could take that
Mhm.
book right now, but later on it's gonna bite you in the behind if you take it right now. So you wait to take that book.
There is a
That's
serious
with some of
question.
these gimmicks in wrestling. I don't think that some of these gimmicks should be played or portrayed the way they are. I think they should wait and develop the person into a definite personality that would be intriguing to the fans, but also tell a story.
Okay, there is a deeper question that goes beyond professional wrestling here, in the 21st century in particular, and in
Mm,
the age of the internet.
mm.
Are you willing to become the world's biggest idiot and clown just to become famous and rich.
I got an answer for that.
Because of,
I got an answer for that.
Mhm.
Look at what's on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Question answered.
Yeah. Yeah, there are plenty of people who will answer yes. And
There's
that's a
plenty of
big,
people that already answered yes. They doing it now.
yeah, and that's a big problem with me. I despise the fact that people in this life can get everything that they want just by dropping their pants and showing the world that they're hung like a hamster and have the world laugh at it.
Well, I
Absolutely,
would think a garden snake,
I
but
hate
not a dominant snake.
that. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. We draw first blood.
But yeah,
Uh,
but this is let me say this. The thing that makes me mad, and guys, get mad at me if you want to, but I'm gonna keep it 100. The thing that makes me mad about this whole thing is when a girl, a woman, can make a page to where she's just sitting in her bra and panties, and she can make over $1 million in a month because there are stupid dudes that will pay money to just watch this chick in her bra and panties. Ain't gonna get touched, ain't gonna shake her hand, ain't gonna get a hug, let alone a kiss or something else. But you gonna spend all that money just to watch it be like, oh my goodness, dumb, dumb. Number one, if anybody gonna be taking their clothes off, it's gonna be me. Number two, when I do, you better put money in my account. You should be glad I'm looking, and you should be glad I'm taking mine off. Why am I giving you any money for? The heck I'm doing that for? You should be honored with the privilege of me being in the room. And that sounds kind of uppity, but my thing is, I don't go in. I'm not like these other dudes that go to every female and be chasing after. No, if I choose you, that's special.
maybe this is a generational thing, Bobby,
Oh, it
and
is.
again, this may come down to age, but the how do I put this to in a way that millennials can understand?
She
Not that
for the
I'm trying to
streets.
insult. Yeah, no, not just that, but digital relationships are not relationships. And throwing money at an internet personality and thinking that it is deeply personal is a ridiculous fantasy and a waste of money.
Like I
And
said,
a lot of younger people don't understand that.
it ain't.
And
I don't think it's. I don't. Let me say this. I don't think that they don't think that they don't understand it. It's the fact of a lot of people in general have put the value of money over everything else. They
yeah,
think because if they spend X amount of dollars and they keep spending it, that this person's going to eventually break down and say, okay, let me go see. You know what I'm saying? But it's never
yeah,
going to happen.
yeah, that and fame. Fame for being an idiot. If you can be famous for being stupid, somehow that's better than being successful because you're smart. And I hate that shit. I
Yeah.
despise it.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
If you're a genius,
Now,
you get
speak
looked down on. But if you an idiot walking around putting firecrackers up your behind, you get $2 billion. You know.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a very sad commentary on the human race. Now, speaking of sad commentaries, that leads us into our tap out of the week. And since we don't have Marvelous Marcus Buckley here with us this week, he was otherwise detained. Bobby, what was your tap out this week?
I forgot to write it down. I don't even remember it.
Oh, well, in that case, I've got one that's very, very specific.
Go ahead, do it, because I can't remember mine.
My tap out this week was the short and sweet TNT title reign of Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, yeah, I saw
What
that.
in the hell purpose did it serve to put that title back on Fletcher so soon just so that he could have a belt while he was in Australia? I don't think that was I don't think that was in any way constructive, especially since for once we got a big debut for a major signee to AEW, winning a title on his first match in, but then losing the damn title on his second match in. I mean, what the hell did that accomplish? I mean, yeah, it's great for Fletcher, and it puts him back on the right track. But at the same time, you screwed Ciampa, who is a major sign for AEW, and it makes Mark Briscoe look like dog shit, especially since he lost that ladder match to Fletcher
Yep.
that made him lose the best of 7. And now what the hell are you going to do with Briscoe? So, granted, that was a hell of a match all the way around, but I hate to say it, but you and Marcus do have a point in that AEW has a very serious problem with continuity in their storylines, and they need to figure out a way to not throw away so soon people that they've just signed, and that not only concerns Tommaso Ciampa but Andrade El Idolo,
True.
because by all rights Andrade should have gotten that damn title shot.
Yep.
Hangman Page should have lost that match.
Hey, man,
So
Page shouldn't even be
the
working.
well, that may be true, but the point is AEW needs to do a better job of cultivating the people that they've signed, especially if they're supposed to be making a major impact,
And
and that goes especially for Ciampa.
now let me say this. There's only one reason that I would say he should have lost. Now, first of all, let me touch on something. I've been saying for the longest that somebody should come in on their first match, kick somebody else, and take the belt. Bravo, AEW did it first.
Mm-hmm.
But you sit there and you take that momentum and you get out your tissue paper and your Jergens lotion and you squirt it all over the place.
Thank
But
you for joining us on a. Good Lord.
I'm just keeping it 100.
Yeah.
Tommaso Ciampa, if there's one excuse that I would accept that he lost that belt for, and that's if he's immediately going for that world title.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody got hurt in whatever feud they doing for the world title, and they need somebody to fill that space, I get Tommaso Ciampa dropping that belt. Understandable. Okay. Don't want to hold the belt up in limbo because him defending that belt ain't gonna mean nothing towards the world championship. You want his face in there for the world championship. So get him out that belt real quick. Surprise win by Fletcher. Double surprise. Ha ha. and then put him in a world championship match. I could dig that. But I can guarantee you AEW ain't doing that. That was the biggest insult when I read that. When he lost to that. And I'm trying to figure out, did somebody young buck him off of the actual championship?
Nice way of putting that. But I don't know whether I mean Les Ciampa has respect in the entire wrestling community, and he comes to AEW with credentials
Yeah.
from before his time in WWE. So
Oh, yeah.
putting him in the world title picture immediately would make perfect sense as far as that goes. Now, I don't know whether the Bucks would have some kind of resentment toward him from like years before. I don't know anything about that. If they did, then they're stupid. But
We're
be
talking
that
about the
as it
Bucks.
may, granted, yes, we're talking about the Bucks here, but big picture, if they do end up doing that with Ciampa, then they've kind of telegraphed it. So it still doesn't it still doesn't help the fact that they hot-shotted the title for very little reason other than giving Fletcher the belt so he could have it in Australia.
Tony Motown, it sucks that he lost the belt, but that match was incredible. Probably
Yes.
was. Yeah. It's
I
Tommaso
completely
Ciampa.
agree with that. Yeah. Match quality was great.
That should have been on pay-per-view.
Yes.
I would have never wasted that on Dynamite. That would have been on pay-per-view, man. And that's the other thing that I'm pissed off about. Why are you giving away fucking matches like that? At least there's an excuse with WWE on Raw because it's on Netflix. At least they got an excuse with that. I'm sorry, I'm not putting that type of match on no free TV. You paying to see that bad boy.
I think, Bobby, they were trying to boost the ratings. They were trying to make Grand Slam a ratings success. And that kind of leads to my moment of the week because Grand Slam as a whole was a great show. And it was almost pay-per-view quality. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the storylines aside, and they tried to advance quite a lot of them. So I'm all right with that, and that was part of the charm of the show. And the quality of the matches was great.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the direction of some of those storylines, you have to admit that AEW is trying in that aspect. And they are listening to the people who said they want a more elaborate they want more storylines based in the program, at least on TV, and a Grand Slam Australia delivered that. So that was my moment this week. Now, granted, you have a point in that they shouldn't be giving away like an entire pay-per-view quality show just to get a ratings boost. But the show overall was awesome, and so it got my moment this week. Did you write down your moment, or
Yeah.
was it?
I know my
Okay,
moment.
go ahead.
There was something that a young man said when he came to the ring and he grabbed the mic and he said, I heard there was going to be a you know what measuring contest. But they don't call me Raheem for nothing.
Oh dear God. Uh,
Oh,
that's a
I love
direct
that.
quote, but
I'm sorry, Cody
that
got
doesn't.
mad. Cody got mad. Roman
Well,
Reigns, hold on, Roman Reigns and CM Punk had the promo and that was gonna be my number one. But when Cody Rhodes came out with that, I'm sorry, I cried. That was hilarious. They don't call him
Well,
Raheem for nothing.
Uh, well, since that's a direct quote, it doesn't get a thank you for joining us. That's just that's a new. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it a rule, but I'll use it as a guideline today.
Hey,
Oh,
all I
good
gotta say
lord!
is now we understand why Brandy's smiling all the time.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. That one, okay, that one gets a mark. Oh, good
I bet
lord!
you she did too.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. Oh wow! We're gonna be back to 300 sooner than later with that. Oh hell!
I'm sorry, that was funny. That was funny as hell.
Well,
They came out of
well,
nowhere.
yes.
They came out of nowhere. I'm like, you.
Well, you have to admit that for all the faults in the way he's been booked as a champion and all the ways that WWE has misused him from time to time, Cody Rhodes does know how to get himself over and stay relevant.
Oh
You
hell
got to
yeah,
give him that.
hell yeah.
Okay, our next order of business here is the Elimination Chamber match between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Um, Bobby, you had some insight on this, and I just let's get your what you wanted to cover with this before I jump in.
Well, my thing is this: it has been 10 years, I think, since AJ Lee has had a serious singles match,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of ring rust that's probably there. And then she's going against Becky Lynch. I'm worried. They're in Chicago. She's gonna have all the momentum behind her. She's gonna have the whole Chicago crowd getting her going.
Mm-hmm.
But I want her to perform well. I want her to perform to the top of her ability. I want her to outclass Becky Lynch so bad. Becky Lynch goes back home for a while. But my thought is, are we going to get that shit? She's been gone so long. So my question is, do you think, and please don't come in with that rock, it doesn't matter what you think. Do you think,
Not my style, Bobby.
no, that would be something I do.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you actually think, though, that this could be a show stealer at Elimination Chamber and be a top match? Or do you think this is just going to be a blah and fade off into the sunset?
It depends on who you're asking and what someone wants out of this match.
Well, I'm asking you.
Now, well, I understand that, but see, I'm going to give a much different answer than Motown's going to give. And since he's watching, I know that he is looking forward to this match because he is AJ Lee's biggest fan. So I'm going to put this as delicately as I can.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd reaction is going to be off the chart, but it's going to be for the same reason that Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania X7 got the reaction that it did. It's going to be completely personality based. AJ's style and Becky's style are too much of a clash to make for a decent match inside the ring. It's just not going to happen, especially if it's one-on-one. Without Punk or Rollins to carry the weight of the match in the in-ring, then it's not going to be good in terms of in-ring quality. It just won't. The only way that it's going to be good is from the point of view of someone who just wants to see AJ Lee emotionally screw with Becky Lynch. And if that's why you're coming to the party, then you're going to love this match. But if you're coming to see a good fight, then I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. AJ has been gone too long, and she was never a technical wizard. And to be fair, neither is Becky Lynch, not no more. And she has demonstrated that in the last few years in the matches that she's had, that the more that she has gotten pushed, the quality of her matches has declined significantly. So it all depends on what you're bringing to the table and why you want to see this match. And Motown is probably going to love it because it's AJ Lee, but I'm not going to love it because it's not why I'm coming to the party.
Well, Motown's comments on the screen. It will be better than Hogan Rock, but it's not going to be a great match. I'll be happy if it's 3 stars.
Oh, hell, I'll be happy if it's one.
Ooh.
I mean, I would not be surprised if it's that bad.
No,
Because,
I don't think it's going to
like
be
I
that bad.
said, the styles clash is just too big. And we're talking about two completely different generations of women's wrestling, where things were expected of Becky Lynch that were in no way expected of AJ Lee. AJ Lee was just expected to be over. She wasn't expected to be technically sound.
Hold on, wait, wait,
Whereas
wait, 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 wait,
Becky,
wait, 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 wait. Hold on, let me stop you there. AJ Lee was technically sound. It was just her time not as technically sound as what they are right now. They've upped to the grade. She was technically sound back then, but not as what they are right now. But
nowhere near.
I can't say that either because think about this. She was working behind the scenes for WOW. We don't know what she knows right now. It's not like since she's been sitting at home eating bonbons, just watching wrestling. She's been actually active in the wrestling community behind the scenes, probably training, doing a whole bunch of stuff. So, I'm actually looking. I don't think it's going to be a great match. Like it's going to be, oh my god, 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be around a 3.5, 4 star match. To be honest, because we're going to get
Wow.
surprised. No, I think we're going to get surprised with a lot of things that AJ has learned from WOW and helping behind the scenes and doing stuff there that nobody has seen. I mean, think about
Well,
it. There
let
was
me
pictures. There was pictures of her and Punk training in the ring before she even thought about coming back.
well let me go on the record here saying that if this match surprises me and proves me wrong, I will readily admit it. I'm not gonna sit here and just shit on the match for no reason if it turns out to be good or decent.
Oh no, we
That's
don't. Nobody
not
ever
what
take
I
that.
do either.
Nobody gonna
Exactly.
take that. But
No, if this match surprises me, I will freely admit it right here on the show. But I am going to keep my expectations low and I'm going to keep the bar on the ground, because if this does turn out to be a bad match, then I want everyone to be expecting it and ready for it.
I got you. I just I got a feeling AJ is gonna shock us with something.
Well, the potential is there. I'm not going to say that it's not. It's just that considering the tag match that we saw and the fact that practically all of the quality in-ring stuff hinged on Punk and Seth, then it would not surprise me in the slightest if this ends up being a subpar match somewhere in the 2-star range, if not lower.
But let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they probably did that on purpose to hide what she knows?
Do you really think that WWE Creative is clever enough to do that?
I believe when it comes to stars like CM Punk and stuff like that, I think the WWE will come up with one thing, but CM Punk will come back to him like, hold on, let's do it like this. She's got somebody in her pocket that can go to WWE and say, hey, I get what you're doing, but how about we do it like this? And Triple H, it ain't the same Triple H CM Punk relationship like it was in the past. Triple H actually listens to him. And Triple H will change something if he sees what he said. I could see that.
Your argument is that Phil Brooks is protecting his wife.
Hey, I would.
Well, yeah, any respectable husband would in
Right.
this particular instance,
But my
and
thing
it
is,
makes sense. Yeah.
but my thing is, it's more prevalent here because this would guide into her strengths. Having Phil Brooks there doing this would guide into her strengths to make her look even more better in the match. See what I'm saying? So with them saying, okay, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is how we get this result and make it look good. I'm saying 3.5, 4-star match. Because you know once she went once, it ain't no question, once she wins that title, the roof is gonna blow off that place.
Well, yeah, if that's the way they book it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether they're going to go that particular route because, I mean, has Becky has put AJ Lee over on 2 separate occasions now, so it seems to me like AJ Lee is going to come out on the short end here, but all of this is up in the air, and you make a compelling argument as to, but like I've said, if you were booking this, and even if CM Punk were booking this, I would have more confidence in the logical outcome. But since it's being booked by WWE Creative, I am not so confident that it's going to come out in the logical fashion that it should. So even though your argument is kind of compelling, Bobby, I am not sure.
You don't have the confidence that they do it.
Well, we're gonna see. We're
Yeah,
definitely gonna see.
I definitely understand why you have that hesitation though.
Yeah. Bobby, would you remind me of our next segment, please? Because
Oh,
I seem to have lost track of my list here. I'm trying to figure out because it's a little bit hard for me to read, and I've got half an eye right now.
give me a second.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now I can. Yeah, Cody Rhodes has suggested that WWE start doing house shows again in order to um, in order to
Bring back
uh,
camaraderie and
yes,
get more practice for the younger people that's coming up in the game. You
yeah,
know,
to more polish the product and give people more experience.
right,
And what did you want to cover as far as that? Should we support it or
right. That's what I want to know. Do you think we should be? They should do that because I didn't know this, but once I started thinking about it, they did cut out all the house shows.
Yes.
So, do you think they should do that, or do you think they should?
I have always liked the idea that WWE should be making shows available to people that can't make it to major TV tapings. I can agree with that aspect of what Cody is saying, that bringing back house shows, even on a limited basis, would provide more opportunities for people to see live shows who can't afford Raw or SmackDown or NXT, especially at the idiotic prices that they are charging, which we'll get into in a few minutes.
Boy,
But I don't think that they should be doing full flung tours at this time, because their schedule, as far as the TV tapings they're already doing, is already outrageous. So it's not as if tacking house shows onto that would necessarily um, would necessarily polish the product a whole lot more, but I would like if they would reduce the prices, like do half-priced house shows in smaller markets, then it would gin up a lot of interest in the shows that they're already doing in the major ones. So, as far as that goes, Cody has a point. But as far as like doing bringing back old school house show tours and bringing back the full 300 days out of the year schedule, I don't think they need to do that. That would increase injuries. That would blow everybody up. That would strain the production budgets of the entire company. So, on a limited basis in smaller markets, say Terre Haute, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland, Ohio, places like that where they could run a house show every couple of months in
my
order to
backyard,
lead
yeah.
yeah, to lead up to things like Saturday Night Main Event, or to supplement a pay-per-view. Something along those lines would be good for what Cody's talking about, and it would help to get lower card guys into a bigger spotlight. Just don't go back to the crazy ass house show schedule that Vince demanded. Not a good look.
Let me go ahead and say this. I agree with 100% you're saying, because Cody was just talking about once a month. I think that's fair.
Mhm.
Once a month, they
Okay.
should get together and do a house show, and that weekend, both days, go ahead and do a house show. Other than that would be a little too much. Me, I can't say that, because I would say twice a month in my opinion. But again, I would have to consider budgets, things of that nature, and injuries, and yeah, I'll probably put it to once a month. But you need that. Not only would I do that though, I'd make it a super show. I had not only have
Mm.
WWE guys on SmackDown and Raw, I had some from NXT, a couple, one from TNA, one from AAA, and one from Evolve. Have all of them show
Hmm.
up at the house show, because to me that would be a, how do you say it, an award, I guess you would call it, or a reward
Yeah.
for the guys that's in the lower ranks to be able to step up and do a real big show. You do good here, we'll showcase you here. You do good there, we'll move you up to here. We move her up to here. We'll showcase you again. We showcase you again. You can move up to here. You see what I'm saying? I don't see
Yeah.
that ladder anywhere. They just say, hey, get your butt up to NXT or get your butt to SmackDown. You know?
Hmm.
I think the
I
progression
would.
will be nice.
I think that the solution you're looking for is if WWE did weekend long festivals in one location. I don't know if festival is the right word, but
No, you're about
like
right.
yeah, like weekend long events,
Yeah.
like
Just one. No, not events. Just one a month.
yeah, a weekend showcases that bring in everybody from every roster, like you were saying, NXT, AAA, TNA, and Evolve, along with interacting with the regular roster in a contained weekend once a month in one location, and you make it kind of a hodgepodge atmosphere that includes everybody.
And I think it'll
And
be
you,
good because you not only are giving them an opportunity to move up, you're giving
Mhm.
our audience an opportunity to grow with them. There is
Yeah,
nothing like growing with your wrestler, your
yeah.
favorite wrestler.
A weekend in your house event.
Right.
I wouldn't call it that because I hated that damn
Yeah. But I get you.
yeah. But yeah, a weekend showcase of every product that WWE produces, and you do it in a mid-level, um, you do it in a mid-level market. I
Hey,
mean, hell,
let me tell you this. You know what I also do on that though? And you're gonna think I'm crazy, which WWE would never do.
mhm,
Not only would I have them as a hodgepodge for that weekend, I would also invite one independent or two independent wrestlers who is not involved
uh-huh.
with all of them to go there and to have a match. I would
Well,
have a
considering go
I would
ahead.
have two independent wrestlers actually kick off the show. They'd be the ones who kick off the show, you know. But that whole weekend will be showcasing everybody. So now you're showcasing everybody from the independents all the way up.
Well, I would take that idea a step farther, Bobby. I mean, after all, WWE has that ID uh, thing. So
Right.
what you do is you pick a mid-level market in which they are doing business with one of those independent promotions that are part of the ID program,
Exactly.
and you incorporate that promotion in the showcase weekend.
Yes.
Like you go out to God, what would be a good, like Arizona, like just for instance, say that the ID program does business with a indie promotion in Tucson, Arizona. They have a 2-day weekend house show in Tucson, Arizona, where they showcase everyone, including that local promotion.
Yep.
And then everybody wins.
Yep.
But, this is just spitballing. So,
Yeah.
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 Speaking of spitballing, our last order of business here, and I'm going to let you elaborate on this last one, Bobby, because I haven't been following this too closely. But ticket sales for WrestleMania. I don't know how well they're going. Maybe you can update us on that. But what is the deal
Terrible.
going through here? Terrible, huh?
They sold 10,000 last year. They sold at this point. They sold
Hmm.
10,000 more tickets. They're in a negative for this date. 10,000 tickets. Now,
Ah,
the rumor is that they're blaming the co-main event of Cody, Fatu, and McIntyre. So they try to do things, they talk about ways to change that up and try to get everybody hyped. I have a different idea of what's keeping people from going there and buying these tickets. I think it's the ticket prices. I think not only since it's the ticket prices, this is the second year in a row you're going to be in Las Vegas as well.
The most expensive town on the face of the earth.
But not only the most expensive town, but you've been there last year. Mm-hmm. What's the mystique about going again this year? You know. Mm-hmm. So, are you on the WWE level to where you're thinking that the main event is not drawing enough people because there's not that much of an interest in it? Or do you think, like I think, that it's the damn ticket prices and they charge you too much and they need to let down on that shit?
If WWE is saying, or people, if the idea is that the ticket sales are down because of Cody, Jacob Fatu, and Drew McIntyre, that notion is 100% full of shit. I'm sorry. There is absolutely no damned way that because of one match, especially one that promises, I'm sorry, that promises to be better than the other main event, that they're going to not sell as many tickets because of that. That's insane. That's just an excuse. That's a cop-out for the real problem. Not only are you right about the ticket sales and the fact that they chose to go to Vegas again, but there's also a third problem here. The accumulative effects of all of the bad decisions that WWE has been making in terms of who to push into the main event and why they are reluctant to do so. That doesn't mean that Jacob Fatu or Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes should not be in the main event. It means that Roman Reigns should have stepped away when they said he was going to. There is absolutely no damned reason whatsoever why LA Knight should not have won the Royal Rumble and been able to main event a WrestleMania against CM Punk or against Drew McIntyre. There is no excuse for that. The reason that the ticket sales are down is not only the price, but the accumulative effect of WWE ignoring its audience and pushing people that have been shoved down our throats to where the well is so damn dry that it could cause another dust bowl. It is ridiculous that someone like LA Knight or Walter or someone of that nature should not be in the damned main event just because they've been obsessed with Roman Reigns for the last 15 years. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work. On top of the ticket prices and the fact that it's in Vegas again, there is absolutely. I completely disagree with the idea that it's because Cody and Drew and Jacob Fatu are in admittedly the secondary main event, because it's being pushed as a secondary main event and not the first one.
Well,
I
hold on. Let me
go
say
ahead.
this. I think it should be put into the second. I'm sorry. CM Punk versus Reigns is huge. I do think it should be second. But with that being said, it's not a far off second though.
No.
You know, I think it should get a lot more respect than what it is. The problem is, and Tony Motown Allen actually gave and he probably did it just now. Oh wait a minute, he said something else, but I'll get to that in a second. He said something that was on point that made a lot of sense to me. The bigger second main event they could have is actually Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
Hell yes.
I didn't think about that until Tony said that to me, and I'm like, damn, that would be a good ass damn match.
Well, yes, it most
But then you got a
definitely
problem. What
would.
do you do with the World Championship? Or the whatever that title we got, Undisputed Championship. It's a
Well,
tough
you do.
position to be in.
Well, see, here's where LA Knight would come in. If they had given the damn title match to LA Knight instead of Roman Reigns, who frankly can have any damn match he wants at WrestleMania, because you know damn good and well they're going to drag out the fucking Rock and get him involved with this bullshit because of his history with Punk and the fact that they're so damn desperate to boost these ticket sales that they think dragging his ass out is going to make a difference. So they would have gotten the match with Punk regardless, and they should have given LA Knight the Royal Rumble win, and then he could have challenged Drew. And then that would have been the answer. And then you could have had uh, Cody versus Orton in a grudge match, and Jacob Fatu versus somebody else. Point
Well,
of
Tony
fact,
Motown Allen, this is what he put. Randy beats Drew for the title. It's February. Mania is until April. Plenty of time for Randy to win it. I get it, but it's going to be rushed if they do that.
excuse me.
Bless you. I think it's going to be rushed. I think it's too late. They should have did that at Royal Rumble and gave the title to Randy.
Well, at this point, it would be the same problem with Tommaso Ciampa
Yeah,
that AEW just did. It would be hot-shotting the title for the sake of trying to shake up a match that doesn't need to be shaken up.
that's true.
I mean,
Shaking not stirred.
yeah, I mean, the point being that there are a lot of reasons that the sale numbers for WrestleMania are down. And it has virtually nothing to do with uh, the quality of the undisputed WWE title match. It has everything to do with WWE making plenty of creative mistakes as far as WrestleMania's presentation goes. There's absolutely no reason for them to shut out guys like LA Knight, to shut out guys like Walter, to shut out Jay Uso, who I understand has had serious problems as far as the stupid ass entrance thing goes. But there are plenty of people that are getting over that could be in higher spots on the card that they are not pulling the trigger on simply because they want to go back to the well. They want to push Roman. They want to bring back the damn Rock. You know it's going to happen. And they want to go back to the same damn pay dirt that is getting thinner and thinner every single year, and that's one of WWE's major problems.
I, I'll say this. I mean, CM Punk versus The Rock, that's going to have the promo ability to sell anything. So I see where they go with that. Roman Reigns versus The Rock, versus Punk, it's going to be able to sell within itself.
It wouldn't surprise me if they turn it into a triangle. If they get
Ooh,
desperate enough, they're going to try to stick The Rock in that match, and then it's going to be Rock, Roman, and Punk, and that's just going to be a recipe for disaster.
that would suck.
Yes, because I'm sorry, the Rock has no business in a professional wrestling ring in 2026. None.
Well, hold on, I ain't going to say all that. But, I don't know.
To tell you the truth, Roman Reigns doesn't in 2026 either, in my opinion. Especially not in a one-on-one match. He's
Mm-hmm.
just he's not up to snuff anymore, and he hasn't been for a long time. He should have retired when they said he was going to retire, and they lied.
True. All right, well, let's shut this down.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here for FTW Future Focus on behalf of your not so humble correspondent, Robert Black, and the mastermind, Bobby Rogers. This is so long for this Sunday. We will definitely see you in the future. Good conversation this week, and can't wait for the next one. And I don't think, do we have James Brown back?
I'm
Damn
trying.
it, we need to get. I know, but we'll see you next time, guys. Take care.